If you know me, you don't, and that's okay. Then you know that I'm a big fan of racing games. It's one of my favourite game types and probably the one I've spent most time playing. I got a code for this game back in 2022 at a time that wasn't great for me in content creation. It didn't help that the game didn't really click for me either. When I contacted the distributor to ask if they wanted me to make a video even if I didn't have anything good to say about it, they said no, and that was fine for me. But it now looks like I've been kind of blacklisted as a result of taking the key without giving them a video, so here we are. It's going to be a short one. Hey everybody, my name's Paul, I'm the Lost Scot, and here are 3 reasons to play Race Condition by Ravine Studios. Before we start, this is your reminder that I almost exclusively cover indie games both here on YouTube and over on Twitch, so if you haven't already followed me there, I'll put a link to my channel in the description. But while we're here, please think about hitting that subscribe button like somebody slapping the nitrous button in a Fast and Furious movie. Let's go. Number 1. It looks cute. I'm a bit of a sucker for the retro 90s untextured polygon style, and Race Condition pulls this off really well. It's super cute and charming. Seeing that style of graphics in proper high res at a good frame rate is always sweet. The graphics are good, but it all looks like it's lifted straight out of an asset pack. I'm not saying this is a full-on asset flip, and I have no problem with devs using pre-built assets, but I don't really know how much original content there actually is here. Which leads us nicely to number 2. The music and sound effects are good. It won't be surprising to learn that none of the audio was done in-house either. The music all slaps, and there's a lot of royalty-free sources listed in the credits. And with a graphic style like this, maybe swapping the realistic stuff for something more cartoonish would have been a better option, but it sounds good, so I don't know how to feel about any of this. Number 3. Consistent physics? The cars control in a believable way, and after I got over the shock that I'll go into next, I found that the cars handled consistently across every track with slight variations, as you'd expect depending on hills or other track conditions, which is nice. They might even have slipstreaming or drafting if you prefer, although I can't confirm it. Look, I told you this was going to be short, so here's some reasons to avoid Race Condition. Number 1. The developer doesn't seem to know much about racing, particularly open wheel. The description of Race Condition on the Steam page talks about you joining a competitive open wheel racing league, but the cars don't handle anything like open wheel racing cars. In fact, I quickly realised that the only way to win against the top AI driver was to ignore the track entirely and drive like I'm taking on Ken Block in a Gymkhana circuit. There doesn't seem to be any difference between driving on the tarmac and taking giant shortcuts across the grass. There's a couple of spots where the game will catch you or you'll bounce off some rocks, but most of the time your fastest racing line is through the dirt. If the cars had been WRC style or even just regular street cars, I don't think this would have been quite as big a thing for me. But they're not. And it is. And the game seems to be aware of this. Randomly, there seems to be a hint of a story in here. It talks about your unconventional racing style and the fact that the top driver, named Dickman, and I can't decide if that's deliberate or not, doesn't like it. So, is it a clever meta-commentary? Or is it an excuse? I don't know. Number 2. The AI sucks. The AI drives like there's nobody else on the track. They'll steer in front of you at the last second, taking both of you out in the process. There's no car damage, so it's just a time penalty, but it can be really annoying to be doing really well right up until you brake for a corner, and the AI doesn't, so you get mashed into a wall and then lose 8 places right before the finish line. Number 3. There's a lot of grinding to unlock new tracks. You earn experience by completing races and unlock new tracks as you level up. Cool. It gives a feeling of progression as you race, and the tracks do have some distinguishing features to differentiate them all. But the amount of experience you get per race decreases after the first time you finish on a track. That means you're going to need to run multiple races on the same few tracks to unlock all 21 of them. I don't think I'd mind this as much if the AI was better or if there were different cars to choose from. But, number 4, the cars are all the same. You get to choose the colour of your car before the races, but it doesn't really matter. Every car on the track is identical, and the order they finish seems to be pretty hard-coded. You know, in Super Mario Kart, how the race results would always be the same if you didn't interfere? Race Condition seems to use the same rules. If I was a spectator, I'm pretty sure the same cars would start and finish in the same order every time. Number 5. The races all start and end the same. This is probably a pretty minor nitpick, but you always start races at the back of the grid. It doesn't matter how well you did in the last race, you have to push your way past every car on every track every time. Again, not such a big problem if the AI wasn't so hell-bent on bumping you into walls, but that's not how things are. T1 is a pile-up every time. That could be funny if it wasn't for all the grinding you need to put in. I do like the way that everyone does massive intentional crashes when the races end though. We've reached the accessibility section, which is also going to be a really quick one. None. The game will let you play with either controller or keyboard, but there doesn't seem to be any way to redefine the keys. That's it. No visual markers for cars near you, no colour blindness filters, nothing. Disappointing even for a small team in 2022. There are accessibility plugins for basically every engine at this point. I don't like making negative videos like this because I don't think they help that much. I'd rather show off games that I think are cool. Likewise, I usually don't bother making content if there's a demo available, because playing that will be more useful to people than whatever I can say. But I broke the tradition because this is essentially a maintenance video. If you'd like to help maintain my channel, then please think about subscribing. You got this far, you must have enjoyed something. This is still a new format for me, so likes and comments, or dislikes and comments I guess, are really useful for letting me know what's going well and what's not. It also really helps with Dark Lord algorithm, so thank you. Once again, I stream indie games like this every now and then, and I'll have a new 5 Reasons video up as soon as possible. I'm the Lost Scot, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.